Alright everybody, Doug Knacker here with Hissy Fit Reptiles, and I'm just going to show you guys all the available ball pythons in this collection sale. Again, I'm getting out of this for now anyways. There are a few animals that I'm going to be kind of doing like a lease thing with. A couple of them for sure, and then some of them just depend on which ones don't sell. Ones that I'm kind of interested in keeping possibly. In case I ever decide to get back into it, then I already kind of have an established, bit of animals to kind of work with and stuff, which would be like leased to somebody. They would be able to breed those animals. We'll kind of split profits on them or whatever. They can make stuff that they want to make with them. We'll figure out breeding projects and stuff like that. I have 2 people that I'm working with on that. It'll probably be only those 2 people that I'll be working with though, so I'm not going to be doing this to like everybody who wants to come and offer it, so probably not taking any more offers as far as that goes. But then they'll keep the animals for as long as I decide to stay out of it, and then if I decide to get back into it, I would get those animals back, and then if not, then I'll say, hey, if you want to buy them, you can go ahead and buy them for whatever. If not, I'll still get them back, and then I'll sell them to whoever would like to buy them at that point in time. So kind of, again, they're leased animals, but they're not like where they're paying me to lease them or anything like that. They're going to be having them, raising them up to whatever breeding size, or if they're already breeding size, start pairing them. Whatever clutch outcomes come out of those, we'll split those by a determined thing that myself and that person work out or whatever, and then whatever is kept by that person, or held back for me possibly in the future, or whatever sells, we'll work on that kind of stuff. But as of November 15th, whatever is not sold and I'm not keeping will be sold to 1 out of 2 or possibly 3 people who are going to buy everything up. So on November 15th, nothing will be available anymore after that, because I'll be contacting one of the 2 or 3 people who said that they'll buy everything I have left. It's probably going to be like, not gonna lie, it's probably gonna be like at somewhat of a wholesale price, because I'm hoping everything's gone by the winter time. The person who's getting these racks, as these racks are spoken for, will be getting these racks in November as well, so I won't be holding anything out back. There'll be nothing here. No snakes will be here at my place after the mid-November time frame. So without further ado, let me show you what's all available. This right here is a pastel gravel possible het pied male. It's a guaranteed pastel gravel. I have made highway stuff with him, bred to Pastel Ivory and a Pastel Puma. So again, he is guaranteed to be pastel gravel and possible het pied. I'd be willing to bet he proves out, because some of the babies he's produced kind of funky looking. I just haven't had a pied to breed him to. But yeah. And I'm not going to be saying any prices on this video, because some of them may change. So in case somebody watches this a week or 2 from now, and maybe some of the prices change and things. This right here is a proven breeder soul sucker het desert ghost. He made the world's first soul sucker desert ghost, or as I called it, the Soul Asylum. He's actually going to go through shed right now, so he's a little bit darker than normal. You can kind of see it in his eyes and coloration. But again, this is a soul sucker, 100% het desert ghost male, proven breeder. Good breeder. This right here is a pastel Enchi scaleless head. Nice high expression scaleless head on this one. Really nice looking pastel Enchi scaleless head. However, this one is on hold as possibly one of the lease animals that I'll be doing with one of my buddies that I had mentioned before. So this one will, as of right now, is not available, and more than likely will not be available. But I figured I'd show them off anyways, since I don't think I ever really showed them in videos and stuff. So nice high expression scaleless head though. This right here is a super pastel vanilla fire. Now in the camera I can barely pick it up, but when this thing was littler, there was a lot more pattern. You can see the pattern a lot more. Now it's really kind of getting really washed out. But this was produced by Garrett DeMeyer from Real Constructor Designs, and it is a super pastel vanilla fire, and I believe she is weighing about 1,200 grams or so, 1,100, 1,200 grams. So a couple hundred more grams on her. She'll be ready to breed for the season. Really nice looking vanilla fire super pastel. My initial plans were to breed a firefly clown to her. Breeding a firefly clown to her, you would be able to get super pastel vanilla fire het clowns, which would be awesome. I don't know if you've ever seen the vanilla fire clown stuff, but man, that stuff is awesome, especially when you add pastel and stuff into it. Throw a desert ghost in eventually, you're going to have some really wicked animals. So it's a female. Again, she hasn't been bred yet. This right here, this male is actually sold. This is a pastel double het clown pied male. Nice pastel double het clown pied male. And the person that got him also is giving this female. So this is a normal double het clown pied, and she has eggs in her. So actually these eggs are going to lay here first. He's going to get everything, but if there is a clown pied in there, because that's a project I've been working on for 6+ years now. I've been trying to make a clown pied for a long time. So if I can get a clown pied out of it, I am going to keep that as something I am keeping and not selling. But then he will get everything else in the clutch. So if there's 2 clown pieds or 3 clown pieds or whatever, I would get the one and he would get whatever's left. And she was paired to him. So, really nice. And by the way, he is really local to me, somewhat local to me. So, there's a few other animals that he might be doing like the lease thing with, depending on what I have left. Possibly even this girl if she doesn't sell. This is a Pastave Clown, proven breeder female. This was from Ozzy Boyd's. Had her, I got her from Ozzy. She's a 9-egg layer. She laid some awesome stuff. He bred a Batman to her, and if you go on his Instagram, you'll see some of the babies she produced. He produced some Batman, Pastave, so basically Pastave, Leopard, Spot-nosed Clown. Gosh, I can't even think here. But yeah, this is a nice Pastave Clown female, proven breeder. She's like 2,500 grams now, and she laid in June. So really, really nice Pastave Clown female. Again, she was from Ozzy, and so was this. This girl here is a high-intensity Super Orange Dream Fire Spider female. This girl here, it's got a lot of history behind her, and if you saw the unboxing video I did with her and the Pastave Clown from Ozzy, this girl's just amazing. She looks awesome. However, she has sold. I was really hoping to keep her back, but what really kind of sucks is this whole thing with my shoulder. I injured my shoulder, and I haven't been at work since August 2nd. So I am for sure out of work until October 21st, possibly longer if I need surgery. So I'm doing physical therapy now. Hopefully things are even better. But anyways, long story short, I was kind of hoping not to have to sell her, but nothing else was really selling, and somebody had offered the money that it was asking for this, and so that person is getting this awesome, awesome girl. She laid 9 eggs for Ozzy earlier this year as well, and she is just an amazing, amazing snake. Shows no sign of wobble whatsoever, by the way. This right here is a proven breeder Pastel Puma. She had laid a clutch not too long ago, and actually they hatched and had their first couple meals already. I'll show those in the baby rack. So she's eaten a couple meals, kind of skipped one or two and eaten again. So she's like, you know, 1,200 grams or so. But yeah, as of this video anyways. But yeah, it's a Pastel Puma. So Pastel Yellowbelly Spark. Really, really awesome. And the clutch I'll show you, she was bred by the Pastel Gravel Posset Pied. So you'll see some of the babies that came from that, which are also available. So this is a Pastel Puma female, proven breeder. Oops, did that one already. This right here is a Banana Pastel Vanilla, and she finally ate her first meal just recently, and now she's going through shed, so now she skipped another meal or two, of course. But she laid a clutch of 5 eggs. She was bred by the Red Stripe, and I'm going to show you that clutch as well. I'm pretty sure she proved out to be vanilla, because some of those look like they're vanilla in there. So Pastel Banana Vanilla, female, proven breeder. So really, really, really awesome snake. Really cool coloration on her. She is, again, went through shed, so the color on her is a little bit different now, but she was one of those girls, and I've only had a few of them like this, but even after cleaning her and the tubs and everything else, she stayed wrapped up in a ball the whole entire time, even though her snakes were in the incubator and she wasn't near them. I've only had that happen on a few different snakes, and she did that. So while her snakes were in the incubator, her babies were in the incubator, she stayed curled up. It wouldn't eat, wouldn't do anything, but stay curled up no matter what. I've switched tubs on. I even switched tubs with her a couple times, and bedding and all that kind of stuff, and it didn't change anything. She still stayed like that, which is really weird. But anyways, moving on. This is a Pastel Scaleless Head female. Pastel Scaleless Head female. This is one of them that I'm actually going to be probably holding back and doing the lease thing with one of my buddies, the same guy who's going to get that Pastel Enchi Scaleless Head. Hopefully breeding these together to get some scaleless ball python combos. So breeding those two together would get Super Pastel Enchi Scaleless ball pythons, hopefully. Nice high expression on this girl as well. This girl right here, oh man, this one, she's in shed, but the reason why I'm saying it the way I'm saying it is because I really wanted to hold on to her. But again, with my situation, short-term disability only pays so much, and it's very, very little, and I need to make sure stuff is paid, and I have a lot of stuff to take care of. So she was actually one of them I wanted to send to a buddy of mine to keep as a lease thing, but somebody had the money and ready to pony up with her, so I had to do it. So I didn't want to, but she is going to be an awesome girl to breed when she's up to size, which she's almost up to size. She's like around 1,000 grams. So a couple, get 500 more grams on her, she's good to go. This is a Leopard Desert Ghost Het Hypo female, produced by Justin Kabelka. So a Leopard Desert Ghost, 100% Het Hypo female. So you can't see the awesome coloration on her that she normally has because she is deep, deep in shed. But yeah, she's awesome. And she is sold. This right here is available though. This is a Pastel Red Stripe Calico Yellowbelly proven breeder female. She is awesome. Pastel Red Stripe Calico Yellowbelly female, proven breeder. She's back on food. She laid a clutch of eggs that is in the process of hatching right now. Nothing's out of the eggs yet. Very nice whites on her, coloration, patterning, just awesome. This right here is a proven breeder, proven breeder Orange Dream Yellowbelly female, deep in shed again. Another one that's deep in shed. She's awesome. I did not breed her this year actually at all. So this girl here took the year off. So she's nice and big. She did lay last year. I got a 4-egg clutch out of her. I think I got 2 slugs. So I figured giving her a year off, get her a little bit more size. She probably should be able to give a nicer size clutch this time around when she's bred again. But a nice Orange Dream Yellowbelly. You can't really get the... If you want to see a good picture of her not in shed, go to my website, hissyfitreptiles.com. And there's a picture of her in the collection page, so you can see what she looks like not in shed. She was a little bit smaller in that picture too, probably around 1,000 grams, but not much different than the way she would normally look. This right here is a Toffino female. Not a proven breeder, but she's getting up there in size. I think she's around 1,100 grams, 1,200 grams, somewhere around there. Toffinos, I think, are totally underrated. What I was going to do with her was going to breed the Pastel Gravel Pastave Pied to her. Because I think Super Gravel Toffinos would look amazing. Not sure what you guys think about that, but I think a Super Gravel, the way those things look, you put in Pastel and Toffee, I'm sorry, Albino and Toffee into that, and you're going to have an awesome looking snake. So what a Toffino is actually het albino and het toffee put into one animal to make this visual, because toffee and albino are allelic. So this thing bred to like a normal would produce, everything would be either 100% het toffee or 100% het albino. You wouldn't know until you bred them out, but if you bred this thing to an albino, everything would be either albino or toffino. If you bred this thing to a toffee, everything would be either toffee or toffino. So, really awesome looking female. The color in the camera probably isn't doing justice to her though. This here is a proven breeder Pastel Mystic Potion. So she didn't produce anything for me the first couple years I bred her, but the last 2 years she gave me some amazing, amazing animals from her clutches. Again, this is a Pastel Mystic Potion, so a Pastel Mystic Mojave, proven breeder female. Very, very nice girl. She produced the world's first Pastel Mystic Red Stripes, or the Red Mist as I call them. This thing is feisty. This is a Super Pastel Surge Yellowbelly. Surge is a pretty, I don't want to say unknown, but a gene that not many people are working with currently. But it was produced by Fred Kick. He's the one that found it in his stuff. And man, it's some pretty nice coloration on there, really cool blushing and stuff like that. A little bit different than the typical Super Pastel Yellowbellies. You definitely tell that Surge kind of throws the pattern around a little bit and adds a little bit more definition to the yellow and the blushing. As they're older, you can't tell quite as much, but as babies and when they're little, it's a lot cooler looking. And she actually has follicles. She was bred by the Pastel Gravel Pastave Pied, so potentially could produce Super Pastel Surge Highways. So that would be pretty interesting. I'm still, as long as they're here, I'm still going to keep pairing them actually. So she has follicles in there. I'm not sure exactly what, if she's going to go for sure or what, because I thought I also saw them a little bit bigger, but it could have been a fluke thing, and then when I saw them again, they were a little smaller, so hopefully she's not reabsorbing. This right here is a Killer Blast female. I produced her back in 2012, one of the first clutches of snakes I ever produced. So this is a Super Pastel Pinstripe Spider. Super Pastel Pinstripe Spider, proven breeder female. She's produced 4 clutches for me now, I believe. 3 for sure, but I'm thinking that was 4 now. I have to look back at her records, but But yeah, she's produced some pretty awesome animals, and she's given me some pretty nice stuff over the course of the few years that she's been breeding. So really, really nice Killer Blast female, proven breeder. And then finally in the adult rack, this is the Pastel Ivory. So super Yellowbelly pastel. She produced the Pastel Puma I showed you earlier, and she's also the mother of a few of the other snakes I'm going to show you. Of a Pastel Highway snake that I call the Sizzler, and some other stuff that when she was bred to the Pastel Gravel Pastave last year, some of the stuff that she had produced came from her. So, but the Pastel Puma also came from her. So, really, really nice looking Pastel Ivory, proven breeder. She did not lay this year. I did breed her, but she didn't lay. So she'd given me 3 clutches prior, and then this year she didn't lay. So next year I'm assuming should be a pretty good year for her. A little bit more size on her probably than the typical years. I typically gotten 6 or 7 egg clutches out of her though. So really nice proven breeder Pastel Ivory. Now, I gotta get up high here. So, this first clutch is from the Pastel Puma, bred to the Pastel Gravel Pastave. There's 6 of them. The first 6 snakes are gonna be from that pairing. So this right here is either a Pastel Spark or a Pastel Yellowbelly, possible het pied, but it, looks pretty funky. And I have G's right now. I just I sexed them just recently, and I just can't remember what ones I don't have listed. I don't have them labeled on here anymore, so I gotta do that. But yeah, really really interesting. So everything's gonna be at least Spark or Yellowbelly. That's not like the highway stuff or Pastel Gravel Spark stuff or Gravel Spark stuff. But this right here is also what I'm guessing is a Pastel Pastel Spark or a Pastel Yellowbelly. However, this one's a little bit lighter, so this one might be a Super Pastel. I gotta double check and see, but I'm not 100% sure on those. But if you're interested, let me know, or if you have any insight on them. This right here is, I believe, is just a highway. Pretty nice looking highway. I believe this is a female, if I remember right. I have one hand on the camera, so I'm not gonna see her and sex them all. Put the camera down, pick it up, put it down, pick it up. But I believe that's a highway anyways. But I'm confused because I have seen highways that look like this. But I'm thinking this might be a Spark Gravel or Gravel Spark and not a highway. So a highway would be a Gravel Yellowbelly. So you can see they're quite different from each other. And then, to make things even more complicated, there's this one, which is actually a little bit different coloration than that one. So I'm thinking Gravel Sparks for those two, and then a highway for that one. It's because of the way that this one is a lot different looking than those. So, and from the pictures of the Gravel Spark stuff I've seen, they look more in line with those two, I think. So we'll see. If anybody has any insight on them, definitely let me know what you think. But again, I believe that's a Gravel Spark. I believe that's a Gravel Spark. I don't think either of these have pastel, but they are a little bit different in coloration. And I'll update that list with what the sexes are here. I realized when I put the list up, I didn't update the sexes on those on this clutch. So, and then this right here, I believe, is a Pastel Highway, and I think it's the female actually, if I remember right as well. But I believe this is a Pastel Highway, but it could be a Pastel Gravel Spark. Not 100% sure. Might also be a super pastel, but again, I'm not sure. I have to double check on things. Really haven't gotten much pictures of them to show people and ask and stuff, but they all have had a few meals in them, so they're eating good. Some of them have even eaten frozen thawed. Actually, these two ate frozen thawed for their very first meals. Frozen thawed fuzzies, actually. They ate for their very first meals, so they didn't even take any live stuff off their first meals. So, and then almost the whole clutch is converted over to frozen thawed now. They're nice looking snakes, and again, those 6 snakes all came from the Pastel Puma mother that was bred by the Pastel Gravel Posset Pied. This right here is a super pastel possible het puzzle female. Got this girl directly from Sean Bradley, and of course you know that he is very well known for his puzzle stuff. He said that he can almost guarantee she's going to be het puzzle, but he can't technically sell her. He couldn't technically sell her as that because I think it was something along the lines of he had her, or the mother of this snake was paired by a couple different snakes. One of them was a puzzle, didn't see any locks, but he paired something else to her, saw locks, and then this came out. But super pastel possible het puzzle. He said this might also have something to do with like the hold on, I gotta move over here because my light just went out. Okay, there we go. Might also have something to do with the platy, like the platy daddy thing, the platinum gene, not lesser, not regular lesser, but like the platinum, like the platy daddy line or genetics and stuff might be possibly in that. Or I am really confused about that whole thing, but if you know anything about it, more power to you. But this girl is available. Super pastel posset puzzle female. This right here is a pastel 100% het desert ghost possible het clown male. Somebody actually had said they wanted this one, and I haven't heard from them since. So technically he was going to be sold, but now he's kind of available, I guess. And I can't remember who the heck it was that wanted him. I had my Patreon thing, but I've been locked out of my Patreon now for like a month. I don't know why, but I can't get in on Patreon. I tried contacting the admin people, I guess, a couple times, but I haven't got anything back and stuff from response, so I don't know why, but I can't get into my Patreon stuff. So I think it was a person from my Patreon who was interested in him, but he's technically available. Pastel 100% het desert ghost, possible het clown, 66% possible het clown, and actually I completely forget, I always forget about this every time, but he's also 50% possible het hypo, because the father actually, the father of the snake actually proved out to be het hypo as well, from a pairing. So it was a joint pairing that I did with the guy. He bred that male to female, and he ended up getting some hypos out of him. So the male is actually 50 or 100% het hypo, so it should make any of his offspring 50% het hypo. So looking at pastel, het DG, pas het clown, pas het hypo. This right here, I believe, is a red stripe soul sucker, but I'm not 100% sure. Coloration's a lot different than what I was thinking with this regular soul sucker stuff. Not like a lot different, but different enough where I'm thinking that it might be red stripe. So maybe a red stripe soul sucker. But this would be something that this is a female, if I remember right. So if it's if it is red stripe, it would be again, soul sucker red stripe, which would be lesser hidden gene Woma red stripe. But it would probably be something I'd have to sell as a soul sucker possible red stripe, unless I can all of a sudden see without a shadow of a doubt that it is red stripe in it. Speaking of red stripe, here's a red stripe, 100% het clown male. Red stripe, 100% het clown male. So he's a couple hundred grams. Once he's up to size, you can be making some magmas with this boy. So really, really nice look. Example of a red stripe. Again, that he's het clown. This right here is a Pastave Het Desert Ghost, a really nice looking Pastave Het Desert Ghost. Look at that blushing on the head. At one point I thought maybe he was a Pastave Desert Ghost, but I don't think he is. I think he's Het Desert Ghost. I feel like he'd be a lot brighter everywhere else if he was Desert Ghost, but looking at him now, I mean, he is pretty clean. That head blushing is really cool. Pastave Het Desert Ghost male. This right here is a Firefly Clown. Firefly Clown, this is a male. To be honest, this is one of the nicest Firefly Clowns I have ever seen. And this one here, if he doesn't sell, I will be keeping to do a lease thing with one of the couple guys I have figured on. I guess I gotta hurry up because my battery's running low. Holy crap. Okay, so this is a Batman female. Batman female. Pastel Clown. 100% Het Desert Ghost. Possible Het Hypo male. Pastel Clown. Het Desert Ghost. Possible Het Hypo male. Pastel Highway female. So it's a pastel gravel Yellowbelly. That was a female. This is the one I call the Sizzler. I'm pretty sure it's probably actually just a super pastel Yellowbelly. But remember these snakes I'm going to show you now that came from the gravel Pas Het Pied male. So maybe it's the Het Pied influence that's having influence on this thing. But I call it the Sizzler because it actually has the letters S-I-S-L-E on it, I believe. And I know it doesn't spell Sizzler, but just kind of went with what it kind of sounded like when you made a noise with it. So that's a female. This is a Yellowbelly. I believe this one actually is on hold. I gotta talk to the guy who was interested in this one. Came from the same clutch, but pretty funky looking Yellowbelly. This is a pastel Yellowbelly female. Came from the same clutch. These are all pretty funky looking though. Pastel Yellowbelly male. Pastel Yellowbelly male. And they're all pretty funky looking. This right here is the other Yellowbelly, also on hold. This right here is a Mahogany Pied female. Mahogany Pied female. Really nice if you want to get into some really awesome Sumapides. It's the route to go. Dreamsicle female right here. Dreamsicle female. Lavender Albino Pied female. I'll do another video with more in depth because I didn't realize I was taking so long in this video. This is a Mystic Het Desert Ghost male. Mystic Het Desert Ghost female. Mystic Het Desert Ghost female again. Another one. Mojave Het Desert Ghost female. Another Mojave Het Desert Ghost female. Mojave Het Desert Ghost male. This is what I believe is a super pastel Pinstripe Enchi Scaleless head male. Might be holding on to that one to send to one of my buddies, but I'm not sure. Otherwise, he might be available. These ones are for sure available. This is a Lemon Blast Scaleless head. And this is a Lemon Blast Scaleless head as well. Possibly an Enchi, and I'm not 100% sure. But Scaleless heads on those. This right here is a Lemon Blast, not Scaleless head, but from the same clutch. This right here is a Super Pastel Enchi from the same clutch. And I'm about ready to run out of battery here, so I'll be uploading this, but you're probably gonna get, hopefully it doesn't cut out. And this, I believe, is a Super Blast, possibly a Super Blast Enchi, but not Scaleless head. Those all came from that clutch. So, anyways, thanks for watching. If you have any questions on any of these, on the ones I said are available, if they were not available, I had mentioned that they weren't available. Also, you can look at the list that I posted on Instagram. So go to Instagram, check out Hissy Fit Reptiles. The list is on there. If it's yellow, it's sold or on hold. I'm going to try to update it at least twice a week, hopefully. If you need an updated list, you can always message me too, hissyfitreptiles@gmail.com. Or you can message me on Facebook Messenger or go to my website, hissyfitreptiles.com. I will not be posting a thing on Morph Market anytime in the near future because my Morph Market subscription ran out, and I just really don't see the point of adding just 1 month. I don't know, I guess I could, but seems like stuff's been kind of